Hello everyone, Dameon Geppetto here. We've got a new tactic video for you, so sit back and relax. No note-taking needed. This is self-explanatory. This is a tactic that I have designed on my own. This is 100% from the brain of a madman, so let's roll that intro and get into it. Okay, what you have here is my latest Twitch save. Yes, this is a Cinch 2 team, Starn Rar, I don't know. Tell me in the comments how to pronounce that Scottish name properly. I am sitting in second place in the league with this horrible team based solely off of using this tactic. So let's get into the arrow tactic right here. As you can see on the screen, it is called the arrow. It is very straightforward. This is a 5-1-1-2 tactic. As you can see, there's a nice line of midfielders. There are no wingers on this. We've got 2 wing backs. We got 3 central defenders, and there is 2 strikers. So we got 2 strikers up front. We're running a shadow striker, third attacking position from the attacking midfield. We've got 1 central midfielder, 1 defensive midfielder, a wingback on either side, and 3 central defenders, along with your goalkeeper. The great thing about this tactic is it's very flexible. This tactic can switch between playing defensively cautious to going attacking really easily. Let's go over the roles, and then we'll get into the instructions. I've got a poacher and an advanced forward sitting up top as the strikers. This can be any 2 roles you want. Do not make them the same role. I suggest you do one as either a poacher or a target forward. If I had a tall target forward, I would run him as target forward instead of poacher. Or you could run as deep lying forward or a pressing forward, whatever you prefer. And then advanced forward or a complete forward or something that is a scorer. One of them is supposed to basically be stopping holding the ball, and the other one is getting into channels, trying to take risks and score. In the attacking midfield central position, you want to run it as shadow striker attack. Always have 3 up front. I prefer to have the shadow striker from the attacking midfield central position instead of a 3rd striker, because this gives more flexibility moving up and down, and this way they have more of an opportunity to actually break through and run past the defense and get one-on-ones. In the midfield, central midfield position, there's only 1 central midfielder. So they must be in a roaming position, box-to-box midfield or roaming playmaker. Those are the only 2 roles you should select. You need this central midfield role to roam. You need them to cover up the gaps, because it's very clear that there are gaps right here in this offense. Your wingbacks are set to automatic. Now these 3 are set on attack. The central midfielder is set on support. The wingbacks are both set on automatic. If you leave it on automatic, it'll automatically adjust. Imagine that. I will show you exactly what I'm talking about. When we're on positive, when we're on balanced, or when we're on cautious, these wingbacks are on the support role. That's what the light blue is. If I go down to defensive, they automatically switch to defensive roles. Very defensive, they're automatically on defensive roles. If I go to attacking, they switch automatically to attacking and very attacking as well. This makes it easier so you could just make a quick change in the game. It automatically switches the roles that they're doing. This defensive midfielder here, I have set as defensive midfielder, and they're defensive. Now, if you have a really good team, you might want to move it to support. You might not need that 4th defender back there. This team I have is not very good, so I need that 4th defender back at all times just to make sure that we aren't giving up too many goals. But if you're playing this on a good team, you might switch that to a support role. You might prefer to go deep lying playmaker support role. You could also run this as a ball winning midfielder in the defensive role. I don't run that only because they tend to get too many fouls in the ball winning midfielder position because it tells them to tackle harder. This is probably the position you could play with the most in this formation. Find out what works with you. Let me know in the comments. Go ahead and tell me, hey, I'm running it this way because I know you're going to run this because this is a winning tactic. Now, as far as the defensive players go, 2 central defenders. You could run them as ball-playing defenders if you want to get more aggressive. In the middle, you want to leave them as a no-nonsense center back and have them cover. The key to this is you want the person in the middle on cover instead of just defend. This way they will sweep back a lot more instead of just being stagnant. Always have your goalkeeper on defending. Whether you have him a sweeper keeper or a regular goalkeeper, that is your preference. If you're enjoying the video, please drop a like and a subscribe onto the channel. You can also follow me on Twitch where I do live streams 5 days a week with Football Manager. But let's get into these actual instructions. Here in possession, this is a narrow formation. Most formations, you want to go wider. This one is narrow. We're all in the middle. We got all those midfielders lined up in the middle. We want to play a little bit more narrow. Not all the way narrow, just fairly narrow. You don't want to back it all the way off. You want to leave it on fairly narrow. Nothing on the approach play. I like it to be varied. You technically could focus the play through the middle, but the reason I don't want to do that is because if you get good wingbacks, they've got a lot of free space to roam because there's nobody else out there. Passing directness must be slightly more direct. If you want to go insane, you can go all the way direct, but it must be slightly more direct. This is a Route 1 style, chip it over the top of the defense and go chase the ball. Tempo, set the tempo at higher. If you're a really, really athletically inclined team, you could go to extremely high. As far as the final third goes, you want to hit early crosses, get those wingbacks throwing crosses into the 3 people that are up front trying to score for you, and shoot on sight. I find in 2022, shoot on sight is actually a valid tactic. It never really was before. Once we get 2 goals in a game, I remove the shoot on sight. Play for set pieces is the last thing that is selected on this in possession. I suggest you put play for set pieces in every single tactic you use. Corner kicks are easy ways to score goals. In transition, this is not a gegenpress. This is a Route 1. We have regroup instead of counterpress. So when you lose possession, they're regrouping, they're running back, they're trying to not get beat. When the possession's been won, counter. We're doing direct passing. We want to chip it over the defense and chase it, chase it, chase it. And that's what the goalkeeper is doing here. He's distributing over the opposition defense. My goalkeeper on this team has 5 assists halfway through the season. Now, out of possession, we have a standard defensive line and we have a lower line of engagement. Pull those strikers back and then the strikers will act more like the attacking midfield positions by doing this. As far as the defensive width, you're going all the way down. You are forcing the opposition outside. We are all in the center. We are pushing them outside and you go, wait, they're going to get more crosses in. Yes, you are pushing them outside, forcing those wingers to do crosses from the touchline. But guess what? You got 3 defenders in the back. If you get good defenders who can jump and head the ball, all of those crosses will get knocked away. I am setting records with whatever team I play this on with shutouts, whatever goalkeeper I plug in. It doesn't matter. This formation is defensively solid, but yet scores goals. How many formations out there can you run on cautious and outscore the other team? As far as the marking goes, I have tighter marking because we have decently quick and agile players. If you have a really bad team who's kind of slow, take the tighter marking off. Triggering and press, I have it on slightly more often. You do not want to go any higher than that. If you're really bad, as far as your speed, maybe you backed it off 1. But I wouldn't go anymore. One last thing before we let you go here today. Let's get to the specific instructions. And there are some specific instructions here for your wingbacks. Regular wingback position in automatic, cross more often is added, and cross from deep. They are the only people who are doing crosses on the team. So you want them to cross whenever they can and cross from deep because there's no attacking midfielder or midfielder to do crosses as well. Once again, both sides, as you see, cross more often, cross from deep. What is the reason to run this formation instead of someone else's formation? You don't have to look for as many players. All you need is to focus on a lot of defensive players and a lot of strikers who maybe 1 or 2 that can also play attacking midfield center. And you don't need to stack up too much on other midfielders. You can get a midfielder or two that can play midfield or defensive midfield, or midfield or attacking midfield. You don't need as much depth. You don't need any attacking midfielders. You don't need any wingers whatsoever. But what you do need with this formation is you need two really good wingbacks. That is the key to make this formation sing. Get yourself two top-notch wingbacks and a little bit of depth to back them up in case some injuries happen, which is what's happened with this team. This is a loan right here, Hellwell here. He's a loan because my starting wingback on the left side, Sam Lovey, he's injured for 3 months still. So we went out and got a loan for this guy and plugged him in. But as you can see here, look at this team. I mean, you probably noticed this. You probably already noticed this. Look at these. None of these guys are 5 stars. I mean, I got a 1 4-star striker, but everybody else is 2.5 stars, basically. And yet I'm dominating my league. Why? Because this is a superior tactics for an inferior team. Thank you for watching. I will have plenty more videos when it comes to Football Manager coming your way, so make sure you drop a subscribe, hit that notification bell, and have yourself a wonderful day, managers.